All right, hockey fans, welcome to another edition of Snapshots, a hockey development podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Trimble. I'm the general manager and co-owner of the New England Wolves, which plays in the USPHL and the NCDC, and also owner of Scoring Concepts, which is a clinic and camp business that has really grown here in New England, as well as the AI Hockey Advisor and a lot of other hockey projects. Today's topic I'm going to be talking about is what real hockey development looks like, value versus revenue streams in youth hockey. Not every player benefit that you're getting with your organization is about player development. A lot of it are add-ons that are just incentivizing you to sign and kind of a lot of bells and whistles for for the organization that you're joining, but they don't actually really translate into any improvement in your game. Now, I don't want to make this a rant fest where I'm criticizing organizations or people, so don't take any of the things I'm going to be taking personally. I'm a changed person. I want to be peaceful and nice, but there are things that you should look out for as a consumer within this space that I think can make a lot of sense for the long term, and probably produce for your athlete a better experience in hockey, which is my primary goal. Just providing those better experiences so your kids can enjoy the game and fall in love with the game. Number one, starting us off here, what real value looks like. Number one, I think you have to look at where your organization is placing an emphasis on. And if they're placing an emphasis on quality coaching, whether it be your skills instructors, your goalie coaches within the organization, and your team coaches, as well as at the top, your organizational leadership that says this is how a hockey operation should run, not just like, a mom and dad type situation. That's where you're going to get a tremendous amount of growth from your athlete, is having a coach who can see issues with the team, can see issues on an individual level, and improve your kid by giving good feedback, timely feedback that supports them. Additionally, runs good practices and can handle a bench. That's number one, really. Quality coaching. A player with average facilities and elite coaching usually develops more than a player with elite facilities and poor guidance. It's the same thing in school, right? You have Ivy League students who come out of, problem schools because they maybe had a good mentor or good instructor. Number two, ice time and role playing. This is important. Now, if your organization does 2 practices a week or 3, they should be different formats and they should allow your athlete to try different skills, but also role opportunity. Is your coach telling your kid, just dump that puck in, just get rid of that puck and he's 8U. He doesn't have the strength the mental capacity to learn and go through that development process where making mistakes is healthy. You want to get meaningful reps, opportunities in different environments with special teams, game situations, and really the chance to make mistakes and learn. That's the most important thing oftentimes with young players, and how you develop really some great players is they have to be willing to make mistakes and learn from those mistakes. If they're playing timid all the time, oh my goodness, that is really a recipe for a kid who's never going to reach his potential because he's so consumed with not making mistakes. Development structure matters. That's point number 3 of emphasis here. Organizations that provide real value oftentimes have skill sessions, video reviews, strength and conditioning, as well as an off-ice guidance and off-ice format. Clear player pathways. So like if you're playing at the A level, there's a team above that might be at a AAA level, which you got to shoot for. And doesn't stop at maybe 14U, but offers 16U. And if it doesn't offer it offers 16U, now it offers a junior program. So having that developmental ladder where kids can have peers and mentors, but also where they can strive to attain certain benchmarks. That makes a big difference in, larger and smaller organizations, and then organizations that can move kids on. Players improve when development is intentional. Number 4, culture and environment. This is not always an easy one to detect. You might not find out really about the culture or the environment until a little bit into the season, but a healthy culture matters enormously. Accountability, leadership, discipline, emotional safety, standards, positive mentorship, A toxic environment can erase development and progress very, very quickly. When the Wolves here took over in Laconia, the previous program, one of the things we noticed was really setting a standard for discipline. Kids have to be paying attention to their coach. They got to show up on time for practice. They're going to have to stay and change and get ready for the off ice. We have, benchmarks when it comes to arriving for their games on time. And you want to have positive mentorship. I'm not a coach that screams. Coach Tim Kuhns is a very humble and quiet person. He doesn't scream at every single kid, but he certainly will say, your behavior's not okay right now. You cannot scream at the refs. You're going to take a seat. And that's accountability. That's different than discipline. It's part of it, but it's also, you need to have both layers of it, where there's discipline and accountability coming from your leadership. All right, now moving on to segment 2 here. This is where things that should sound valuable, but often aren't. Okay, and I see this all the time. The kids that really want the bells and whistles. I remember one of my favorite little kids who comes to my hockey camp. So he's not little anymore. I think he's like almost 16 years. But he was so excited because he got a purple helmet one year for his organization that he moved to. And he had to buy a whole new helmet for it. And I thought that was kind of, funny, but it's also like, for him, it was, excitement being part of that new organization, but offered him nothing when it came to developing his game. Endless apparel packages. Okay, endless apparel packages. Let's talk about it. There's an organization here in New Hampshire that is a fledgling startup organization, and they have everything from the gloves to the, their skill development is like a commercial oriented skill development program. And those things are just, I'm going to be honest with you. If you got multiple tracksuits, multiple bags, different shells, specialty gear, and then every year you redesign so you can't keep your jerseys, it's just an add-on. It's a way for them to layer more fees coming to the organization, because let's be honest here, those revenue streams come from different places. And if it's just $1 or $2 on each purchase, that makes a big difference at the end of the year. And a third jersey doesn't make you a better hockey player. There's no world where that actually improves your game. Showcase overload, number 2. Having the endless amount of travel into the school year to put you in another showcase or another tournament. Now, I think tournaments are great, and they're some of the most fun and impactful experiences you can have. But there also is a place for, my kid needs to be in school. I have a great friend, Pat Burney, down in New Jersey, and he told me that he coaches both his sons' teams, and he took off like every Friday this year at school, and just to go to a different tournament or hockey event, and it was a called in sick day. Now, I hope his board of education isn't listening to this. Sorry, Pat, but the cat's out of the bag. It wasn't always health related. It was hockey related. So kids need to be in school. They're not missing too much if they're going to 1 or 2 showcases a year or tournaments a year, maybe even 3, but 6 or 7, wow, you're really cutting into that impactful learning time. Excessive team fees with minimum added development. If your price is going up every year, but there's no change into the dynamics of the program, if there's not new opportunities that are included in tuition, that's something to think about, right? Like, am I getting more bang for my buck? Here with the Wolves, we offer a number of different free programs that are just included to our athletes. Like right now in May, we're doing free street hockey. So, kids get a t-shirt, they come, there's nothing to cost. Me and John McKenzie jump in the nets. Coach Kuhns monitors the benches, and we have a great time. And it's drop in, so there's no commitment. But we get a lot of kids for it, close to 40, 50 kids playing on a Sunday afternoon. And those kind of things do help the players. There's development to be had there. Now, if you're doing video sessions and offering new technology, those matter too, but they have to be consistent. It can't just be one video session over the course of the year and, that's going to be an extra $1,000 on your tuition. It has to be real and make sense. Elite branding. You'll see this a lot. You'll see this a lot. Elite is overused. Real development is measurable. Measuring that your skating improves from the beginning of the season to the end of the season, decision-making improves, confidence improves, hockey IQ improves. Elite is not a social media graphic. Elite training is observable. You can see what you're getting. Now, moving into segment 3 here, advice for parents and players. Okay, questions to ask yourself, families, before you join an organization. Who are the coaches? What is the structure of the practices? How much individual attention do you get? What is the player advancement history? That's an interesting one. Think about that. What role will my player realistically have? Now, that's also, if you're a youth player, I believe firmly from 12U down, it's all even minutes. Kids get on the ice and need to have a chance to develop over the course of the year. But as you get older, there's going to be power plays and special team scenarios. So think about that. And what makes this organization different besides just the branding? So if I'm comparing apples to apples with a other organization to my north, south, east, or west, what makes them different? I know the jerseys are different. I know the logo is different. But really, what makes them different? The best investment families can make is in acquisition of abilities, is in acquisition of skill, skating, skill development, strength training, ideas on nutrition and sleep, long-term health benefits, the mindset and the consistency of the coaching. Are they getting that same level of coaching from all their coaches, and they're getting experience to have interactions with the higher level coaches within the organization? The best hockey investment is usually development, not appearance. I know that's sometimes tough to see. When you bring your kids, they could be wearing mixed match helmets or pants, and you go to play a bigger town and they got all the bells and whistles. Oftentimes kids feel inferior, but they don't have to be inferior. They don't have to be inferior. That's a good lesson to teach your kids. Closing, the final message here. Good organizations absolutely exist. Many coaches work incredibly hard for players, but families should think critically. They should ask questions. They should focus on long-term development over just pure marketing. Real value in hockey isn't what looks impressive online. It's what actually helps players become better athletes, teammates, and people. So you have to evaluate that with a clear line of sight. Parents, hockey's an expensive sport. If you're investing all your dollars into the appearance of a hockey player rather than the makeup of a hockey player, you could be setting yourself up for a lot of wasted time and energy. So thank you for tuning in today. This was a fun episode to bring forth, especially as we're moving into the summer and getting closer to the start of next season. This episode comes from Mr. Lemon Wax, a hand-poured hockey wax made in the United States. New England Wolves have used Mr. Lemon Wax, and we love it. We've used it for about 3 seasons. It keeps the blade clean and the exact amount of tack that you need. Mr. Lemon Wax. Grip it and rip it. Remember to tune in and like and follow my Scoring Concepts webpage. Scoring Concepts YouTube page. There's a lot of videos to improve your game and give you drill ideas. Follow my Substack, and make sure check out the www.aihockeyadvisor.com. It's a new technology that allows your player to get immediate feedback 24/7 on what he needs to improve his game, get confidence for his next game, to think critically about his performance, and to shape his hockey future. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you soon.